Cool. Hello, I'm your host, Zakale, and today we're gonna do the part B or part 2 of the 50 ways how to I always forget this. The best way to challenge a PIP medical report. I think on the part A, we talk about for a lot of ways, and today it's not going to be long. It's just a few of the questions. And if you haven't watched the previous video, then click around here or here, so you can watch that one first. I mean, it's random orders, so it doesn't matter which one you want to watch first. And you remember last time, apologies that it took me so long to upload the new video, but as you remember, I had to fill up that, well, I had to do this transcript. So whatever we talk about on the phone, I had to put it on the paper and come across, and I did something like that. So you can see I put like HP with a bold, so they will know what she said and what I said, and it was around 27 pages, to be honest. And I was like, wow. Anyway, I already sent it, and they sent, I think a couple of days ago, I received a message that said that they received my my papers, and I don't have to contact them anymore. They will contact me or my friend who helped me. What else? On the 27, which is in a couple of days. Yeah. And I have to fill up. Anyway, so last time, let's get back to our main subject. So last time we stopped at page 16 or 17, as I remember. And I think last night when I tried to do this video, I was so sleepy. And so again, all the findings in here, I got them from, just in case, from benefitsandwork.co.uk or org. Sometimes I'm always confused. But you can, well, just to tell my story. I never thought about to do my story, but it's good for people to see and relate with other people that did video and tell the stories. But yeah, enough of the chit chat. So again, this is if you're not happy with your medical report that came out, you can challenge the mandatory reconsideration. Or if you want to appeal because the mandatory consideration was not enough for you, then you can do that. I did, I think in my letter we write something between the lines. It's not about, even I got the highest in daily living activities, it's not about the highest money. Of course it is, but the majority is to get the right points for the right problems, not to get more points for things that are not so severe and get 0 points for things that are very severe. Because when you're gonna have your next assessment, for example, they're gonna take consideration also what for the previous questions and answer that you gave. Does that make sense? Cool. So okay. Did the HP record what sort of day you were having? In connection with variability, the HP should check with you what sort of day you are having on the day of the medical. It's very important that the health professional does this if their findings are accurately reflect how your condition affects you most of the day. The report must be simply a snapshot of how you were on the day of the medical. Sample text. On the day of my appointment, I was having one of my better days. However, the health professional did not ask me what sort of day I was having. I believe that this is one of the reasons why the report suggested that I have less difficulty with activities such as washing and dressing than is really the case. Really the case. Challenge the observations section. In the observation sections of the report, so parenthesis here, when you finish, I said before, when you get your report, call them and ask them to send you a copy of the evidence they do consider. What is this? Oh. And there you'll see how you can get more understanding about what it says here, yeah? But must ask for a copy. Don't forget that. It's crucial. Even if you're happy with the decision, just ask for a copy. Just to have it in your disposal, just in case, yeah? You never know when you're gonna need it. And when you're gonna need it and you don't have it, then tough luck. In the observation sections of the report, the HP comments on your general appearance and details any informal observations they made, such as watching your walk from the waiting room or rise from sitting. They also give details where appropriate of any physical or mental health examination that they carry out. The observation sections of the report has the following sections: general appearance and informal observations, mental state, musculoskeletal system and or general nervous system, other relevant systems, e.g. vision, hearing, cardiovascular, respiratory, etc. And then we go to the next one. Some of them, they don't have any sample text. Phone unbalanced and may... Okay, don't worry. Has the HP left any of the observations sections blank? If the HP has not examined you because they decide that a particular section was not relevant to your conditions, then they must say so in the sections and not just leave it blank. So that's why you have to have your copy with you. Equally, if they have examined you in any functions area and not found anything abnormal, they should say so. If the section is left blank but is relevant to your conditions, then you can argue that the report is incomplete and you should not be relied upon because the HP failed to examine you fully. Are the HP informal observation accurate? Informal observation or how you do things may be made and noted down. For example, how you walk to the consultation room. But very often the HP will make assumption based on these observations without actually checking you with whether they are correct. And that happens quite a lot. Anyway, whether they're correct. For example, Did they ask you if you were in pain while walking, or what the effects on your afterwards might be? Sample text. The HP has said that I walked down the corridor to the consultation without stopping or appearing to be in discomfort. I did manage to walk that short of distance, but the HP has used this snapshot to form a picture of my mobility disabilities. I had taken more painkillers than usually in order to do this, and because I have CFS, I think that's the what we said before earlier. I had to go to bed as soon as I got home due to the extreme fatigue and could not leave the house due to pain and exhaustion for 10 days after the medical. I stay in bed most days, only getting up to go to the toilet or to get a drink, a snack from the kitchen. Are the HP informal observations complete? Says here, sample text. Well, it says here, in addition, has the HP given details of everything that they observed or should have observed while it's carry out the medical? For example, the HP may say they saw you walk from the front door to your chair, but no mention that you stumbled on how to hold into walls or furniture. And sample text now. I stumbled and nearly fell when showing the HP into my living room. The HP was walking behind me and must have seen it happen, but he does not mention it in his report. The HP also says that he observed me rising from sitting, but did not mention that it took me 3 attempts and that I had to hold onto the table to get myself up. Excuse me. Has the HP included irrelevant or prejudicial personal descriptions? In the general appearance box, the HP should only record things that are relevant to your assessment. They should not refer to issues such as race, religion, or sexuality, for example, or any descriptions that might be considered prejudicial. Something about law, I think. Prejudicial. Sample text here. The HP wrote that I was wearing lots of gold jewelry. This wasn't relevant and may have prejudiced the decision maker against me by making them think that I must have a lot of money from an undisclosed source. The HP, another one sample. The HP has recorded that I was well groomed and smartly dressed. He did not ask me whether I had any help with this. In fact, I often do not get dressed until very late in the day, and sometimes do not bathe for days as I'm feeling low. On these occasions, my partner encouraged, cajoled, and helped me make a special effort to look presentable because a doctor was visiting. The doctor's opinion of how my depression affects my ability to cope with everyday activities is based in parts of his inaccurate assessment of my ability to dress and groom myself. I would ask the tribunal to place little weight on the HP report because of this. So yeah, so this happens quite a lot. You're trying to look nice, and because you look nice, they're gonna think that you don't You don't have any issues. So if you try to do something, if you actually something happens to you, they might not even mention it, or they might think that you make it on purpose. And fair to say that even if if you have an issue and you might do it on purpose for them to see what's going on, I don't think that it's really misleading or giving false information, because you want them to see what's going on with you. And if, let's say, you fall quite often, and if you have your assessment, you might not fall. So by falling by yourself, for them to see that you're falling, is not a false, because maybe that day or maybe that specific time you're not going to fall, but all the rest you're falling. So they're gonna think, because what they see there, that you're not falling. So I hope you understand me, what I'm trying to say. Did the HP carry out an adequate mental state examinations? If you have a mental health conditions or a learning difficulties, then this is a crucial part of the assessment. Oh. The guidance to the guidance to HP is that the mental, it's a bit long. The mental function assessment should be tailored to individual claimants and may include appearance and behavior, speech, mood, depersonalization / derealizations, thought, perception, cognitive function, insight, and addictions. Where cognitive difficulties are a common symptoms of relevant conditions, they should be assessed. However, HP will also have had training in disability analysis. Mine didn't have this kind of stuff. When they will have learned that all the followings make up an accurate mental state examination. It says here: appearance, nutritional state, age, grooming, presentation, dress. Behavior: eye contact, facial expressions, rapport, movements, posture. Speech: tone, volume, rate, content, appropriateness. Mood: subjective versus objective, self-harm ideas, temperament, irritability. Cognition: orientation, attention, concentration, and memory. Well, it looks somebody that I know. Intellect: intelligence, logical thinking, educational need, learning tasks. Insight: understanding of illness, its severity and treatment. Addictive behavior: intoxication, confusion, disinhibition, physical effect, abnormal thoughts, obsessions, compulsions, ruminations, and abnormal perceptions, hallucinations, depersonalizations, derealizations. If the HP does not make a record of something in the list that you feel is relevant to your conditions and how it relates to the description for PP, you can challenge the accuracy of this report. Sample text. I told the HP that I need to take extra medication this morning to cope with attention to attending the medical assessment. My partner also had to accompany me because I was too distressed to attend of my own. I also told the HP that I had been awake all night and worried about going to the assessment. However, no record was made of this. The HP has record that I was able to engage with him, but has failed to record how anxious and I felt about the assessment when I told him. I don't believe that these comments accurately reflect the difficulties I have with my anxiety. Next we have, are you threatening or aggressive towards other people? Okay, this is short, but it's not relevant to me, but I'm sure somebody there, well, I hope not, but if someone out there, so if you're threatening or aggressive towards other people, then this maybe means you need someone with you when carry out some of the activities in the test. For example, because of your condition, you may be verbally aggressive towards other people, and this may result in a danger to yourself if you are not accompanied. Or again, because of your conditions, you may be physically aggressive towards other people and need accompanying to prevent danger to others. If the HP failed to ask you about this or failed to give you details here, make sure you tell the tribunal either in a written submission or at your hearing and point out the HP failure to record vital informations. Have you ever harmed yourself or attempt suicide? I think this relates to almost all of us. Because it's fact, people with mental health or anything, I'm sure all of us, we thought about to terminate our lives. I know it's stupid, but if you can't control it and those thoughts come to your head, then anyway. If so, this may be very relevant to your assessment, as it may mean you need someone to monitor your health condition. Sample text. I told the HP that I have attempted suicide in the past and have frequent thoughts of harming myself. However, there is no mention of this anywhere in the report. I will ask the tribunal to attach little weight to the evidence provided by the HP because this was not taken into account. It's like me when she asked me, I think I told him myself about a program that I was placed, and because I didn't want to say that I wanted to commit suicide, I said to her that I had bad thoughts, and she didn't even ask me, what kind of bad thoughts did you have? This is bad. But she didn't. Did the HP record details to your speech problems? If your speech is affected by a condition, the HP should note what effects that has on your ability to communicate with others. Thank you. This should be especially important if the HP had to ask you to repeat yourself. Well, she never did. To repeat yourself several times throughout the assessment, as this would indicate that they had difficulty understand your speech. Well, definitely she could understand my speech, but she never asked me. This should be noted in the report, and if not, you can argue that the HP has been thorough and accurate in their assessment of your functional ability. Did the HP use charts to test your vision? Did the HP use a Snellen chart or near vision chart to test your vision? If not, how did they test your vision, and was their method reliable? Did the HP comment on your weight? When consider cardiovascular and respiratory issues, did the HP comment on your weight? If the comments are in any way judgmental or inaccurate, then they can be used to challenge the impartiality of the report. For example, you may have gained weight due to any inability to exercise caused by joint and muscle pain, but the HP might infer the lack of exercise in a lifestyle choice. Yes, that's what she said about me. And I said to her, because apparently when you're anxious or stressed, you gain weight. And I feel like, it's so weird for me to gain weight at a time that I'm not eating. And she was like, yeah, that's happening, doesn't it? And I said to her, like, it does? Because for me, it sounds weird. Okay, right. Lovely. So, did the HP carry out an examination on your limbs and joints? Where appropriate, the HP should consider the range of movements and power in joints such as neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hands, hips, knees, and ankles. If any of the movements cause you pain or discomfort and you told the HP, or if you were unable to attempt them because they would cause you pain, they should be recorded accurately. If the HP has failed to record any pain or discomfort you exercise, you can challenge the accuracy of the report and dispute the decision that has been made as a result of inaccuracy. Did the HP report or reduce sensations? Has the HP made accurate and complete comments about any problems you have that are influenced by your central nervous system? If you have reduced sensations, for example, or experience pain or fatigue, this should be noted by the HP. The effects of those on your ability to carry out daily living activities and to mobility safety should be included within the report. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Challenge the health professional opinion section. The health professional opinion section of the report form is where the HP gives their opinion about your condition, how your condition affects you. So it's their opinion. My opinion is that he's fine, to be honest. I don't know if they have like a target, like the less people you examine, the more people you examine, and the less people you find it with each, and the more people you assessed and the more you find with less issues, then you get more money. I don't know. The health professional opinion section of the report is where the HP gives their opinion about how your condition affects you. In other words, the HP is free to disagree with what you say. So a nurse can say to your report that you sent from your psychologist or whatever, I don't believe that. If you can show that the evidence in this section is unreliable, then you have gone a long way towards showing that the entire report is unreliable. So it's worth taking some trouble over. I don't know what that means here. Let's see if there's a sample text. No sample text. If the HP fully justified their choice of descriptors, has the HP fully justified their choice of descriptors? The HP choices should be justified with refer to clinical findings, observed behavior, history, other evidence connected to the claim, including your questionnaire and any additional evidence. It is not sufficient for the HP just to express their opinion as if it was fact without any justifications at all. The HP must also show that they have taken account of factors such as anxiety, pain, fatigue, breathlessness, variability, the ability to carry out tasks safely, reliably, repeatedly, and at a reasonable speed. I'm sure minors skip this part. In addition, they must also address any contradictions in the evidence. If, for example, your consultant says that you can't walk more than 10 meters without severe pain, but the HP choose a descriptor that say you can move more than 50 meters, they need to explain why they disagree. Sounds familiar, this one. Can you clearly understand from the health professionals' opinion sections why the HP choose the descriptor points that they did in your case? Have they made it clear what evidence they relied on to reach their conclusion in such a way that a decision maker can check and decide whether or not they agree with them? If not, then these are ground for challenging the reliability of the report. Sample text, we have 3. Sample text 1. The HP has said that I can prepare and cook a simple meal and eat. However, the HP stated earlier that I can make a meal for myself only if I use a microwave. As this practice is part of my autism, it is not safe for me to use a cooker or hob. The HP has not justified their choice of descriptor on preparing food. The HP should have chosen cannot cook a simple meal using a conventional cooker, but is able to do so using a microwave, or explain why they were disagreed with the evidence in their own report. Sample text 2. I said on my claim form that I could get out of a car and go into a local shop if I lean on a wall and stop regularly. The HP has not noted this and has instead said that I can walk to the local shop from the car park, which is over 200 meters away. Sample text 3. The HP has written that as I see physiotherapist and the pain clinic about my back, that my condition is improving. However, my rheumatologist has said that my condition is deteriorating and that I required more regular infusion as my mobility is getting worse. The HP has not explained why they have disagreed, disregarded this evidence. If there are enough details to justify the HP choices. In many reports we have seen, there are very little details to justify the HP opinion, either in the section or in the history sections. If the HP has given just one or two items of evidence to justify the choice, but you gave a great deal more evidence in your questionnaire to support your choice, then point this out and ask that your choice be preferred, because it is based on more detailed evidence. Has the HP said where the evidence came from? Some HP are careful to explain where each item of evidence came from. In particular, was it the claimant questionnaire or something allegedly said during the face-to-face interview? Other, however, write things like, he reported that ... or reported difficulties are consistent with ... It is vital that the decision maker knows where the evidence came from, because if there is a contradiction between you said in your questionnaire and what you allegedly said at the assessment, for example, this should be considered both by the health professional and the decision maker. The fact that, unlike employment and support allowance, the AP medical report does not have a section.
FYI, my battery is below half. Fix it.
Okay. Sorry. The fact that unlike employment support allowance, the HP medical report does not have a section for setting out which option the claimant selected in their questionnaire makes it even easier for contradiction to be ignored. And sample text. Oh, it's a long one, this one. In my questionnaire, I stated that I very seldom speak to anyone other than my partner, and I very rarely have any contact with friends and family anymore, and find it very distressing when I do. The HP has stated he reports that he able to speak to he able to speak to his parents and friends on the phone. This is not considered with needing support to engage with other people. It is clearly not accurate to say that I reported that I was able to talk to parents and friends when this is not what I said in my questionnaire. It's also not what I said at my assessment. But if the HP imagines it is, they should still have made it clear that this contradicts the evidence I gave in my questionnaire. In fact, I told the HP exactly the same thing that I said in my questionnaire. That I do speak to friends and family, but only rarely, and it's always distressed me greatly. Yeah, also this one. Has the HP wrongly considered impairments instead of disability? The HP who visited you should have received a training in disability assessment which stressed that it is disability rather than impairment that they should be considered. This is especially relevant for conditions such as ME/CFS, where the HP may claim that there is no evidence of muscle wasting and concluded that there is. Therefore, little or no impairment of the limb function. Instead, the HP should have been looked at the level of disability involved, i.e., how your condition actually affects your ability to use your limbs. There is more information about the difference between impairment and disability in the training given to HP. Next, it will be useful to consider the relationship between impairment and disability. We have all come across patients who have exactly the same disease process or impairments, but the degree of disability is completely different. Consider two people of the same age, both 1 year after traumatic bilateral below knee amputations. One of these people is a very active sports person, extensively involved in local community life and who works full-time. The other person now spends most of his time at home doing very little, because he now feels that he is unable to do anything. Some of the differences can be identified in relation to personality and motivation, but also local environment. Personal and emotional makeup and important factors in response to their impairment. Also, we must consider that diagnosis and age plays a role in the level of disability resulting from a similar impairment. If one of the people in the above example had bilateral below knee amputation as a result of a vascular disease from lifelong smoking, then the situation will be different. The effects of age and any other disabilities would also have been considered. Parenthesis, if chronic obstructive pulmonary disease have also present. Parenthesis closed. Therefore, when making disability assessment, the whole person and their environment must be considered. And here's the references. Disability analysis for new entrants, page 19, pre-course reading, version 1, 28 September 2004, medical service training and development. And the sample text, the HP has stated that I have only slight impairment in my upper and lower limb because there is no evidence of muscle wasting. However, many people like me with severe ME do not exhibit muscle wasting and yet have severe limitations or experience. The HP has looked solely at what is considered to be impairment without taking into account the degree of which I'm disabled to my conditions. This is not in keeping with the training the HP should have received. Challenging other issues, almost finished guys, yeah, it's only this one. Yeah. Challenging other issues. There are a number of other possible grounds of which you may wish to challenge the report, which we have set out below. But don't forget that this list isn't exhaustive. There may well be other issues you can raise that we haven't detailed here. Has the HP accurately recorded the timing of the examination? This is frequently a disagreement between claimants and HPs about how long the medical examination took. The time that the HP said the examination started and ended are on the first page of the report. You know the report that I said to you that you need to ask for? If the HP spent any more time writing up the report after they left you, the separate box to record this on the last page of the report. Do your time and the HP time match? If the HP has claimed to have spent significantly more time with you than was actually the case, it's worth raising this further evidence for the unreliability of the report. Sample text. The HP has recorded that the examination started at 11:50 and ended at 12:35. In fact, the HP collected me at 11:55, asked me to sit down, left the room to make a quick call, and start asking me questions at about 12:03. The HP finished asking me questions at around 12:30, but sat writing for another 5 minutes before I could leave the room. The timing recorded in therefore is not whole accurate. I was looking at my watch throughout as my medication was due at 12:30, and I was starting to feel that I need to take my tablets. And the last part. Has the HP given the professional qualifications? The HP has two opportunities to say what type of professional they are. Once on the first page and once at the last page of the assessment form. In spite of the fact that they are instructed what they must to do so, we know that some HP are still refusing to say and just writing health professional in the box. No, mine, she wrote that she's a nurse. You can complain directly to Independent Assessment Service of Capita, who carry out the medical or on behalf of the DWP. If this happens in your case, in addition, you can ask that less weight of attached to the evidence of the HP than to any evidence given by your own health professional, such as GP or consultant, because the PAP assessor has not been willing to reveal their qualifications. They may not, example, be a physiotherapist, and you may have a mental health conditions or a rare conditions which they are unlikely to have encountered or having any understanding of. And that's it. So have you noticed in this part I read all the sample text just in case someone interested about that. So I'm gonna do another video about my story. About what is my condition and how it affects my life. If you haven't watched the previous video, again, click here. If you haven't liked this video, please click the like button over here or here. Can't remember. So if you're watching like here, then the like button should be here, I think. And yeah, tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you on my next video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.